Hare Jai.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna, everyone, welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So, today we are reading from...
You put the mic a little closer.
From what verse?
58.
It's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, it's okay. So, Namo Bhagavate. Can I have the Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yes.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So today we are reading from Canto 10, chapter 13, verse 58. Can you put the password? Tatori Bhak Pratilad Bhaksha. Tatori Bhak Pratilad Bhaksha.
Tatoriva Pratilad Bhaksha.
Kaha Paritavat Utitaha.
Kapale Tavat Utitaha.
Krichrirad Unmilya Vekrishtir.
Krichirad Unmilya Vedrishti.
Ashashtiram Sahatmanaha.
Avashidam Sahatmanaha.
Tatori Bhak Pratilad Bhakshaha.
Tatoriva Pratilad Bhaksha.
Kaha Paritavat Utitaha.
Kaparitavat utitaha.
Krishad Unmilya Vekrishtir.
Krishad Unmilya Vedrishti.
Ashashtidam Sahatmanaha.
Avashidam Sahatmanaha.
Tatori Bhak Pratilad Bhakshaha.
Tatoriva Pratilad Bhaksha.
Kaha Paritavat Utitaha.
Kapale Tavat Utitaha.
Krishad Unmilya Vekrishtir.
Krishad Unmilya Vedrishti.
Ashashtidam Sahatmana.
Tatoriva Pratilad Daksham. Tatoriva Pratilad Daksham. Kapale Tevad Utitaha. Kapale Tevad Utitaha. Krichirad Unmitya Vedrishtim. Achaste Sham Sahatmanaha. Achaste Ram Sahatmanaha. Tatoriva Pratilad Daksham. Tatoriva Pratilad Daksham. Kapale Tevad Utitaha. Kapale Tevad Utitaha. Krichirad Unmilya Vedrishtir. Krichirad Unmilya Vedrishtir. Achastedam Sahatmanaha. Achastedam Sahatmanaha.
Tatoriva pratilab daksha.
Tatoriva Pratilad Daksha.
Kaparitavat utitaha.
Kapale Tevad Utitaha.
Krichrat unmilya vaidristir.
Krichirad Unmilya Vedrishtir.
Achastedam sahatmana.
Achastedam Sahatmanaha.
Someone else? Okay. Word for word. Tata. Then. Aribak.
Arvak.
Externally.
Externally.
Pratilad Bhaksha.
Pratilad Daksha.
having revived his consciousness,
having revived his consciousness,
Kaha,
Kaha,
Lord Brahma,
Lord Brahma,
Paretavat,
Paritavat,
just like a dead man,
just like a dead man,
Uthita,
Uthita,
stood up,
stood up,
Krishrat,
Krishrat,
with great difficulty,
with great difficulty,
Unmilya,
Unmilya,
opening up,
opening up,
by,
right,
indeed,
indeed,
Drishtihi,
Drishti,
his eyes,
his eyes,
Ashasta,
Achasta,
his soul,
his soul,
Idam,
Idam,
this universe,
this universe,
Sahatmana,
Sahatmanaha,
along with himself.
along with himself.
Translation. Simon, do you understand French?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm learning. No, not yet. Not enough.
I can
No.
translate if you prefer.
For me, I like to give in English, but
Okay.
do you understand if I speak in English or not? I can
You
speak
want to read?
slowly.
I can translate if needed.
It takes so much time if there's
No,
a
but
translation.
like personal.
Ah,
Personal.
Yeah.
When you speak, I speak
you,
sometimes.
but are you sure? Otherwise, you can translate for it. Okay. So, translation. Lord Brahma's external consciousness then revived, and he stood up, just like a dead man coming back to life. Opening his eyes with great difficulty, he saw the universe, along with himself. Purport by His Divine Grace, I.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We actually do not die. At death, we are merely kept inert for some time, just as during sleep. At night we sleep, and all our activities stop. But as soon as we arise, our memory immediately returns and we think, oh, where am I? What do I have to do? This is called Suptotita Nyaya. Suppose we die. Die means that we become inert for some time and then again begin our activities. These take place life after life. According to our karma, our activities and svabhava, or nature by association. Now, in the human life, if we prepare ourselves by beginning the activity of our spiritual life, we return to our real life and attain perfection. Otherwise, according to karma, svabhava, prakriti, and so on, our varieties of life and activity continue, and so also do our birth and death. As explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Maya Revashya Cha Beseka Cha Adudu Bhai. My dear brothers, why are you being washed away by the waves of Maya? One should come to the spiritual platform, and then one's activities will be permanent. Krita Punya Punjaha. The stage is attained after one's accumulate the result of pious activities for many, many lives. Shishiguranitai ki,
Jai.
Govinda Madhava ki,
Jai.
Krishnaram ki.
Jai.
Janma Koti Sukriter Nalavyate. The Krishna consciousness movement wants to stop Koti Janma, repeated birth and death. In one birth, one should rectify everything and come to permanent life. This is Krishna consciousness. End of the purport. Om Maganat Vinodasya Vinanjana Shalakaya
Chakshurunilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Savitam yena bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dhavati Svapadam Sikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sagana Gunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tatta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Harivi Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation again. Lord Brahma, external consciousness, then revived, and he stood up, just like a dead man coming back to life, opening his eyes with great difficulty. He saw the universe alone with himself. So, Hare Krishna, thank you for coming to the Srimad Bhagavatam class today. So, I'm not so qualified to sit on this Vyasasana and give class because this is very... I'm not realized in the topic that I'm going to speak about because I still think myself I'm the body, but I will just try to share something that Srila Prabhupada is saying in his purport, and maybe it will be enlightening for all of us and help us in our spiritual life. So it's the first sentence in the Srimad Bhagavatam in this purport is that we actually not die. And it's nice that there is this actually in front of we do not die. We actually do not die because it's like we think that we die, but we actually do not die. That's what's gonna happen. And because we are by nature soul, we are eternal, and the goal is to come back to our original position, which when we are free from birth, death, disease and old age. So anything that we do in our life, in our daily life, that is not helping us to realize this eternal soul, our relationship with Krishna, then it's a waste of time, which means that anything that is not connected to Krishna is actually a waste of time because it's not helping us to understand what is our relationship with Krishna. And as we know and as we experience every day, that life is very short. I don't know if you experience that you feel like the time is passing more and more fast. And this is the effect of Kali Yuga. Even for people who are not spiritual, they feel this time is going quicker and quicker, and this is actually a reality. So, so when we understand this state of emergency, that we should not waste time, then it's helping us actually to realize this eternal nature. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, King Parikshit is asking to Sukadev Goswami, what is the duty of a person in life, in any circumstances, and the duty of a person who is about to die. So this is also actually the goal of Srimad Bhagavatam, this is to teach us that, and also the goal of Bhagavad Gita. And we find many examples of personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam that are showing this example, like Bhishmadev, for example. He gave everything up at the end, and he was just focusing on the Lord. But he also did all his duty during his life. So it's like, you know, when we do run, after we run, when we finish, we need to relay to the next runner. So life is like that. We are practicing during our Krishna consciousness, and at some point we need to let the young people take the lead and actually teach them the knowledge and train them. Because if there is no one to train the young generation, then how there will be a future in Krishna consciousness? So this is the goal of devotees also. When they become more experienced in something, they should teach it. And Srila Prabhupada was very keen on that. I remember one pastime with his disciple Yamuna. He told her, you have to teach cooking. Anytime you get a skill, you need to teach it with others. And then this is how she wrote this book about cooking so that everyone could benefit from this. And this is actually for everything we do, for cooking, for dressing the deities, for if we want the deities to look nice, then we should not be attached just to our service. Then we should then train other people. How can they also dress nicely Krishna so that Krishna looks beautiful, and this is for his pleasure. And for everything, how to clean the temple, how to cook, how to distribute books, everything, how to chant properly. So like that. So when one grows old, you should detach from position, name, and fame. So like that, because it then leads to bondage. So there is actually all these devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam, they set this example, like Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and Bhishmadev. They all gave up this false identification. And Bhishmadev said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending on the material world. Although from him only the material world is created." So actually all this personality, they are all absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and at the end of their life they are just focusing their mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. And this is the goal of everything what we do in our daily life. This is also the goal of Varnashram system, that it's actually Krishna set up that system for us, to Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and then for some taking sannyas. And all of this is just meant, the real goal of everything that we do is just to develop love of God. So if we do all of this and this doesn't help us to come to that point, then there's something wrong in our consciousness or the way how we are practicing. So we can see that that death is like our final exam. That it's like when you are in university, we are preparing, we are studying so much, and then we come to the classroom and then we have the exam. And so this is the final one, right? So if we don't pass it, then we didn't, we have to start all over again. And death is like that. The moment of death is that the final exam for us. So everything that we did in our life will be evaluated during that very moment. But more we train ourselves in this life, more we are able to success the exam. It's like when we go to an exam at university, if we didn't, see the class, what is it about, and we took time to see how to succeed this exam, then we're not going to pass the year. We have to start again. So like Krishna consciousness is like that. More we train ourselves to become Krishna conscious, and we follow the process that Srila Prabhupada is giving us, and we follow the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, the words of Krishna, more we have chance to pass the exam. And some people in life think that it's morbid, like to contemplate death. When we talk about death, everyone is trying to avoid this topic, or they don't want to talk about it. It's something hidden, and but this is actually a reality that just people are trying to escape, because it's a reality that everyone, sooner or later, we have to face. But so we should not see it as something which is inconvenient, but we should see it actually as an opportunity, as a meditation, as an ultimate meditation, so that we can reinstate clarity and perspective in every aspect that in life. And we can think there is few aspects I wrote here that actually death can be positive and can help us to meditate through our life. The first one is priority, that to meditate on death, that actually help us to set priorities, because at the time of death we don't take our possessions, we don't take our status, we don't take our friends, our family. So more we are detached from it, more at the moment of death, we're going to be detached of it. More we're going to be attached, more at the time of death, we're going to be attached. But when we see everything around as meant to serve Krishna, that doesn't mean I have to think, no, this is not my mother, no, this is, but I think that this person belongs to Krishna, and how can I serve this person? Detachment doesn't mean rejection. It means to, how can I use what Krishna is giving me to serve him? And really think that this not belongs to me, it belongs to Krishna. Because in every aspect, in marriage, with children, with friends, if we think, oh, this is my husband, my wife, then when they leave the world, then we are depressed, frustrated. But when we think, this person is belonging to Krishna, then we're naturally detached. So, actually, there is this story of King Prataparudra in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, because Lord Chaitanya tested him, and he was a king, and he had got a lot of quality. He was gentle, but he was also powerful. He ruled the kingdom all his life with a spirit of love, devotion, and you see, it's a kingdom, it's a lot of opulence. But he used every little thing he had just for the pleasure of Krishna. And he was set up like gigantic places with big feasts and big festivals, with so much prasadam, and he was arranging facilities for spiritual teachers to come and elevate people, and he was protecting the citizens, maintaining the citizens. He maintained the justice department and the armies to protect them. And he was doing so many things as action in life, but he was not doing it with greed or with ego or with lust or with envy, but he was free from lust. He was just doing with love, with compassion, humility, and devotion. So that's the main teaching, actually, of one of the main teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, is that to not give up our work, but to just perform our work motivated by highest ideals. But to set priorities, we need to have a goal, because otherwise how can we set a goal, right? So let's say my goal, okay, I want to remember Krishna at the time of death. And then everything that we should do in our daily life should facilitate that goal. And anything in our daily life that takes us away from that goal, we should then stop it. Then we should just, it's sense gratification, then it's something disconnected from Krishna, because it's disturbing the mind. So you can make a list. It's sometimes good to introspect and meditate on those things that we are holding on and that take away our mind from thinking about Krishna. There is another second aspect that helps us in meditation. It's the aspect of humility. Because Srila Prabhupada said that if you don't want to bow down in the temple room to the deities, then you will have to bow down at the time of death. So it's actually brings a sense of humility, because when we think about it, we think about it that actually we cannot do anything about death. We cannot stop it. So that brings this sense of humility, that we are not in control, and that someone else is controlling us, and we cannot do anything about it. So I just have some things that I find nice about humility, because many times we speak about this topic of humility also, and I found something that Urmila Mataji said about humility that is very, very nice. And because sometimes we tend to think that humility is low self-esteem, or to not act and to put oneself in the back, or to some things that actually it's not really humility, it's something else. And she said that humility is honesty, is to really deeply think that everything belongs to Krishna. And so whatever you do in your life, you think that I'm not getting the credit. It is actually Krishna who is getting the credit for it. So whatever I do, even if someone becomes famous, a devotee could become famous or cook nicely, even if devotees goes to him and say, okay, wow, you cooked an amazing fix, a humble devotee, he will say thank you, but he will, in his mind, he will know that I didn't do it actually, it's Krishna. And the second aspect is grateful. Whatever he gives me, as great as it is, I am unworthy to receive it. So in that way, when we think like that, we are grateful for everything we receive, because we always think, oh, Krishna is giving me so much, even though I'm unworthy to receive what he's giving me. It's like even now, I mean, if we observe our life, we are sitting in a castle. I mean, I don't know if we realize sometimes, but it's actually a castle here in the middle of the forest. When we look by the window, there is a garden of roses who smells like heaven, and we have wonderful deities, and Krishna gives us opportunity to serve. So this is amazing. And when we remember that every day, then the problems that happen to us, conflicts with devotees or miscomprehension, everything we can face, then yeah, we take it in more detached way, because we remember more what we receive than what we don't have. So humility is also joyful, because being Krishna's servant is so wonderful that I am happy to do whatever will please him. So we feel joyful then when we are humble. And how do we get this humility, right? So how do we get this joy and humility? Is by submitting ourselves to a spiritual master. This is how it comes. And it's like the spiritual master, he will instruct us according to the scriptures and other saintly persons, and he will be the reflection of what God wants us to do. Because the problem is we have our heart and our mind, right? The problem is because we are not liberated, we are not Krishna conscious actually. Then whatever thoughts and ideas come in our mind that what I should do in my life, because we are not able to hear the voice in the heart, which is Paramatma, which is Krishna's voice, because we are not a pure devotee, then it's mixed with the mind. Sometimes it's Paramatma, sometimes it's the mind, most of the time it's the mind. So the spiritual master, he's completely free. So he's completely connected with the will of Krishna, because it's not his mind anymore. It's only Krishna who is dictating him. So in that way, when he says something, then it's completely directed from Krishna. So it makes life easy actually, because otherwise if we don't have a guru, then we have so many ideas. We want to do this, and the next day we want to do something else. The next day we think about this, and then after that. And we don't know, and then we have doubts, and then we don't know what to do. Should I do this or should I do that? But when we have a spiritual master, it's so easy, because he just says, okay, just do that, and then, okay, we feel peaceful, we just do it. And then we know it's the right thing to do, because it's coming from Krishna. So, third thing that death can bring us is clarity. Because the moment of death, thinking about death can give us a new vision. And we can see everyone and everything we complain about in our life with a new light. Because usually we appreciate things that when they are gone, right? Like people, etc. When they leave, sometimes we don't speak to them. Devotees, we don't give attention to them. And then when they leave for like 1 month, we realize, oh, it was nice, the service he was doing. I should have told this person how nice his service was, right? And what is the mind is tend to do is focus on the faults rather than the qualities. Oh, he's not doing that, but we don't see that actually he's doing this and this and that and that and that, right? So that helps us also to understand, because there is a beginning and an end in death, right? Everything starts and everything finish. So it helps us, when we think about it, to appreciate more the people, devotees, service, because there will be a beginning and an end in all our relationships with each other. Now we are together, but Krishna will separate us at some point. So in that way, it helps us to value what Krishna is put on our way. And in Bhagavad Gita it is said in the 10th chapter, as soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus death is devouring every living entity at every moment. But the last stroke is called death himself. As for future development, all living entities undergo 6 basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, and finally they vanish. Of these changes, the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. So Krishna is explaining how everything has got its beginning and end. So in that way we can develop more this consciousness, right? This vision of, okay, how can I utilize every moment, and how can I give appreciate every service, every devotee that Krishna is putting on my way. It's also bring another characteristic we can meditate on. It's a sense of humility, which means that everyone has got fear of old age, of getting sick, of being unsuccessful, or many fears we have, right? But actually, when one is fearless of death, he is free from all fears altogether. There is nothing then we have fear in, because when we are fearless of death, then we do not fear old age anymore. Then we don't fear getting sick, or all of this is because we know that, okay, this is an opportunity to go somewhere else better. And another characteristic is giving its opportunity, because there's a devotee who was at terminal illness of a cancer, and he had this realization before he died, and he said to one devotee that when you get that closer to death, you see that is not what you was thinking. Through life we fear death, but when you are that close to death, you see that it's not the end. It is a portal of opportunities, a portal beyond which we are able to see our true existence and nature. It is not something negative or destructive. It's the opposite, hugely life-affirming. So we tend to see death as something negative, but it's actually something positive. It's something like as an opportunity, right? And at the beginning of Krishna consciousness, when we start to practice, first we have this desire of liberation. So first we think, oh, I want to be free from the material world and go to the spiritual world. And actually when we advance a little more, then it transforms into that we realize that the spiritual world is not a geographical place. It's not somewhere we go. It's actually, it can be now. It can be, the spiritual world can be now, because it's a state of consciousness. Because when we are fully absorbed in remembering, serving Krishna, pleasing Krishna, then we already live in the spiritual world. And on an even higher level, one may desire that to go to the spiritual world only if that facilitates their service to Krishna. And so the best thing we can do is to focus our consciousness as much as we can in our daily life. And sometimes when we are in a place like, and we can feel sad when we leave our home and loved ones. I don't know if it happens to you. Sometimes you were maybe in a different place before here, or you went in different places in your life and you were sad, You had this sadness in your heart to leave your friends, your family. But then when you went to the next place, it was even better, right? And every time it's the same. You go to somewhere, it's even better. So death is like that. It's even better than before. So if we are going to actually in a bigger home, if you have like small and dark home, and then we know that we are going in a bigger and more beautiful home, then why we should feel sorry, right? So we should be happy that we are going to a better place. And so this sort of joy also helps us to kind of see death in a different angle. And sometimes also what we can think is that you know, that Krishna, God, is putting us now in this place with these devotees to learn a lesson. And when this life is finished, that means the lesson is finished. That means we learned whatever we had to learn, and then we have to move on and learn the next lesson. And because the universe, Krishna has put this universe, it's not a punishment that we are here. It's not that we are punished that we came to the material world. It's actually out of compassion. Because it's our desires actually that we are here. That's why we came here. It's our desires that we wanted to experience this material life and experience this body and experience sense pleasure. And each life that we go through millions of life is meant to teach us to learn more about ourselves and more about who we are, what is our relationship with Krishna, which is the ultimate life, right? So death will happen when we naturally finish to learn the lesson that we have to learn here. So it can happen, you know, at any time actually, because when we finish to do whatever we had to do, whatever we were meant to do, then we will go in the next place. And it's like a classroom. When you are in class, you learn a certain test, certain amount of thing, and then you go to the next elevated work, like you go further, right? And then when you don't pass, you have to go back again to the same class, but you are with different people, with a different teacher, but it's the same lesson that you have to learn. Just Krishna is putting you in different settings, but you have to learn again the same the lesson, and you have to again do this year 1 time, 2 times, 3 times again until you understood, right? So it's okay, even if we fail, if we didn't pass the test, we have the chance again to try. It's not like the end of the world, right? So we have to trust that Krishna will take care of us, that he will also help us to learn what we have to learn. And sometimes what we have to learn or what we have to do, it's not what we have in our mind. Because in the mind, or what we have expected, right? We have so much expectation, so much ideas of how my life can be, or what I have like as a project, or what I will do in the next year, or whatever. But actually, maybe it's not going to happen like that. But when we trust in Krishna, when we have faith in Krishna, then we know that whatever will happen at the end of the day will be for our own good, which means that is actually always better than what we expected. Because Krishna is always, you know, giving us better. And it's true, I can observe my life since I'm here. I mean, I would never expect, I didn't plan to come to New Mayapur. And I would never expect that I would be able to live in the forest. Like, I'm not a forest person, I'm a city person. And so when I've been told that I'm coming here, I was like, I'm gonna die for sure. But actually when I came, I feel like, you know, I feel really happy to be here, and because I'm doing services, and because my spiritual master gave me the mercy to be here, then it's even better than what I was experiencing before. So we should not be scared of that, because as also when we will be closer to leave our bodies, devotees, they talked about that many realizations will come throughout the way, if we practice, of course. And so we should let go of our expectation, and we should, you know, surrender to what Krishna wants us to do, and then everything will go smoothly, because they will show us the way. So and we can see also around us actually that we are immortal, because actually when we look around us, we can see, like during the winter, you know, the trees, they leave their leaves, you know, they kind of die, and then they come back again to life. Every winter, every year, it's like that, right? So it's the same for us. We die and then we come back again, and we die and then we come back again, and this is actually demonstrate the transition of life. It's the same energy that happens around us that also happens inside our body. It's just a cycle that has no beginning and has no end. And there it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter 2, verse 12, Natvevaham jatu nashan, nadvam neme janadhipa, natshevana bhavishyama sarve vayam ataparam. Therefore there was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all this king, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. And then again, Krishna is explaining in the Bhagavad Gita, the soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor can be burned by fire, nor moistened by the wind. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, all-pervading, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. It is said the soul is invisible, inconceivable, immutable, and unchangeable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. So when we can understand that we can never then be killed, so we can never die, and then we just go to another body. And there is a nice prayer that I'm gonna end the class here, which I took from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is said, the Supreme Personality is certainly not known to everyone, but he is very powerful and influential. Therefore, although the serpent of eternal time, which is fearful in force, endlessly chases everyone, ready to swallow him, if one who fears the serpent of time seeks shelter of the Lord gives him protection, for even death runs away in fear of the Lord. I therefore surrender into him, the great and powerful supreme authority, who is the actual shelter of everyone. So actually this verse is saying that when we surrender to Krishna, then because death is Krishna himself, then we are free from death, free from the fear of death. Is there any question or maybe some realization or some observation or some thoughts? What is your thoughts about death? Are you scared of death? Everyone is scared of death.
I'm scared of being unconscious during death, but I'm not scared of death as an object itself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, most of the people, they are scared not of death himself, it's for the pain coming from death.
Also, yeah.
Because this is what actually because there is so much physical pain, then the mind is cannot think about anything else than the physical pain, right, that we experience, especially if you go through cancer or through that's actually why we're practicing now, and we can test ourselves. It's like when we are sick, even in bed, for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and we can see like how much we can, when we chant, how much we can read. This is the final test also, that when we're gonna arrive at this moment of life that we're gonna be in pain, because normally the consciousness will be fixed on Krishna, then we became detached from the body, because we realize that we are not this body, and so even if there is this physical pain, this realization and this relationship with Krishna is much more stronger. At least this is what I can share, but I don't have realization on that. So maybe, would you like to share something?
I can say that also we can prepare ourselves for death for sure, but we can see by experience, that many devotees have left their body already, and what they realize that is Krishna will manifest himself if he wants, even in our dreams. Sometimes we are scared of something, and we start chanting Shingale even when we dream, we are not conscious. So it's Krishna who appears to us, because we can, of course we can be trained to approach the death. We can be trained, and we are training every day. But also it's Krishna mercy and Guru mercy that Krishna, he comes, but or he does not come, or he comes, and depend on our attitude. And we can see that in our daily life. That sometimes we struggle, and Krishna is helping us because our inner feelings and how we pray for Krishna. Is Krishna who is doing he appear or not?
Yes.
But anyway, we have to be trained every day for that realization also.
Thank you. It reminds me one story that Srila Prabhupada said that, it's like when you're feeding the birds, like if there is there's a lot of birds and you have a small quantity of bread, and if there is one bird who screams more than the others, who do more, then he will give him that bread, but it doesn't mean that the person will give him the bread. It's just that there is more chance that he gets the bread. And he was saying this is also like how Krishna's mercy work. It's like we try to do as much efforts as we can, but at the end of the day, it's Krishna, he's a person and he decides. Yeah, thank you.
We saw as well this example, I forget exactly the pastime, but this devotee who was screaming the name of his son, Narayan, and that basically he was...
Ajamil.
Yeah, exactly, thank you. And he had no intention towards the Lord, but by calling his son, he could, like Krishna, appear at the end of his life. So
yeah.
This can happen as well to, to someone. We give him the Maha Mantra just at the end of life, and then he's able to say Krishna. And so
but also Ajamili was a great devotee in his past life, and so that then he merged into sense gratification. But Krishna was remembering also that he was a great devotee in his past life before he fall again, because as we know, Krishna never forgets what we did, but it would not be the same effect for someone if you just say Hare Krishna, or we don't know, because we don't know what the person did in his past life, and Krishna is also seeing what we did, and that's how he evaluates us. Anyone else? Okay, time for breakfast. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.